The mass media are evolving and changing constant. It affects it directly to the whole company. Every time there are fewer diaries since almost nobody becomes exhausted money in buying and having the same information in internet free. The television also is suffering this change because there is a great part of the company that looks for all the information and that he is interested in internet. Internet makes us be in a small bubble which allows us to have all the information that let's want at any time. It provokes that we communicate less but simultaneously it makes us advance very rapidly. Not all the journalists are the only guarantee of the real information and the freedom. Every journalist says a different information and there is some information that can be manipulated. The press and paper is disappearing, but not in all sides. In Japan, for example, even diaries use in paper, everything opposite in the majority of Western countries. Normally the majority of people knows perfectly that the information in writing is much trustworthier, but in spite of knowing it we continue looking for the information in the network since we take it much more as to hand. This is a custom which we would have to stop doing because ultimately we use information invented in the majority of occasions. Really ultimately it affects us. Everything already is directly or indirectly, but the human beings we are persons which only we are interested in the things that affect us directly. For this reason only find out about the things that we are interested. The problem will come in a future when the internet spreads completely and has the whole control of the company. It will eliminate the press of paper, since nobody will become exhausted money in buying a newspaper or a magazine having all the information that they need in the network. The people are turning into more practical persons and they support that the information is to a more rapid scope. This will concern clearly the companies of newspapers and magazines, but mainly it will concern the company because the journalists were taking advantage of the innocence of the people inventing the majority of notices this way to enrich itself with them, provoking that all the information ends manipulated for the benefit of the different companies of advertising. The social networks have 2 points. The positive one that is that you can find out about all the things that happen, not for Jaffer Dier, but if for the things that are happening in many places of the world. For example, you can continue when there is a war, since you can know from the people that living through this one, since this living, and not only for the mass media that sometimes are partisan, that for this side, this one. Well, I believe that we are not using of a correct form, gun sight that handsome I am, that I have type. For the social networks are useful para comunicars, the press desaparecerá, but pondra otherwise.